So I know what I said before. I know that I said that I would be consuming less and shopping my stash, using more of the products that I already had. But I also feel that it's important for me as a gal on YouTube and beauty being my business that I need to sometimes be the guinea pig and test new launches out in order to help you make a smart shopping decision. So I have been over for the last few weeks scoping out the new at Sephora. This month in particular, there were a lot of exciting new launches. And I thought that instead of just doing the same format that I always do, me sitting here being like, I'm applying a full face of new things, that I would actually put them to the test for numerous days, bring you guys along with the experience as I try the new products, and then be able to give you a fully developed final thought on them. So in this video, I'm gonna go through each of the products. These are all new launches that launched in the month of January, as far as I'm aware, at least on Sephora Canada. And I'm gonna show you guys the action of me trying them, the blunders, the beautiful moments, and then give you my final thoughts on each of the products. I wanna hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this style of the review, if you loved or hated any of these products that I mentioned, and if I missed any amazing new products that you tried and you're like, hello, you need to try this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let us begin. I'm gonna go in the order of how I would apply them. So I'm gonna start with the base products first, and this one's actually the Big Bahookie. This is the most expensive product we have in this business. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty excited for it. This is the Lilah B Glow Priming Oil. I have very, very dry, sensitive skin. I react very easily to a lot of base products, but I also really need that hydration. So this was launched as a serum, an oil, and a moisturizer all in one, and it's set to be worn alone or underneath makeup and help your makeup look ooey, dewy, and glowy and glorious, and it has a ton of hydrating benefits, all that good stuff. This retails for $90 Canadian, which is one of the most expensive primers that I have ever witnessed. Like even Victoria Beckham, like $90 is a hefty price tag in the priming category, especially when you're not promising too much, you know what I mean? I do get the idea that it was technically like a 3-in-1. So for that I get it, but a $90 price tag is definitely hefty. Their packaging is always incredible, clean beauty, a luxury beacon of beauty in the clean beauty space, Lilah B. So whenever they have a new launch, I'm very, very excited about it. And they did actually send this to me, so I wanted to put this to the test, see how it wore under makeup, and let us go through that moment together. Okay guys, today is day one of trying out the Lilah B Glow Priming Oil. Now in this fun little brief they sent over, it just lists all of the beautiful extracts and oils that exist in this for hydration and anti-inflammatory properties and soothing the skin and all that. Now, when I watched the demonstration video on the Sephora website, it didn't explicitly state that this could be a skincare replacement. It says use alone or under makeup, but I still feel like for any product, I would never skip my moisturizer, you know, like even the Smashbox Primerizer. I always put on my normal moisturizer before going in with any kind of priming product. And then on the bottle, it says pump once into hands and gently massage oil into face, allowing it to absorb before applying makeup. So my point being, I did put on my normal moisturizer that I do every day, and we're gonna test out this oil. The gals in the video are going like this on their face and like plumping it on, so I'm gonna try that. One pump. We'll get there. Oh, it smells like earthy pine needles. And it seems to have, oh yeah, it does feel just like an oil. Okay, so I'm just gonna press that into my skin. Ooh, it feels so nice. Okay, so it feels nice. My skin definitely looks more like glowy and oily. I'm not given an immediate sense of like instant hydration around my mouth area. I mean, it's a face oil, so it definitely makes your skin look very glowy and lovely. I'm gonna take my Bite Beauty foundation, the foundation that I've been using on the regular. This is a good test to see how it applies differently with it. Okay, so one thing I've noticed that's interesting, this is an oil, a face oil, and the Bite Beauty foundation is a water-based foundation, so I find that as I blended it in with my fingers, it was just kind of slipping around a little bit. I'm just going over with the brush now to see if it'll settle into my skin a little bit more, because in general, you know, water and oil don't mix, so I wonder if that would have an effect on it. But I do just see a little bit of product separation, like it's not like sinking in as much as it normally would. It's not looking so hot. It's not looking so hot. I'll have to try this underneath like another foundation that sits well on top of oily things, like the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That with a beauty sponge sits really beautiful on top of like face oils and whatnot. So I don't think these two are the best match. We're gonna test it out, see how it looks. Again, for $90 for something that's supposed to be like priming your skin and prepping your skin underneath makeup, in my humble opinion, again, for $90, it should probably be able to work well under all things. Okay, I'm popping to the phone to get nice up and close so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone like through the mirror. This is so zoomed in, but I want you guys to see, like, it looks beautiful and glowy for sure, but you can see that the foundation is just like separating a little bit and sitting on top of this oil, which it doesn't normally do. And even on top of my nose, you can see all the product that's separating there. So I'm just trying to show you guys up close what I mean when I say that. And hopefully it's picking up and that you'll be able to see. So the foundation paired with this oil, not a good start. I think I'm actually going to take this off just because I know that this isn't going to get better. And I'm going to try this again with my beauty sponge and, like I said, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which typically sits on top of these primers a lot better. So let's actually just wash that off because it's not looking so hot, and we'll try it under something else. Okay, I washed my face, I got the beauty sponge, we've got the Giorgio Armani foundations, and let's try and see how this applies on its own underneath this foundation. Okay, so the first time around was a bust, so I washed my face, and I actually didn't put anything else on. So we're gonna give this a test on its own and see if the combination actually works. And I'm gonna do 2 pumps because I do have very dry skin, and I feel like I need a little bit of extra moisture, so I'm gonna push this in with my fingertips this time. It feels good, honestly. It does feel really good on its own. So far, so good. Let's apply the foundation. I'm just gonna spot the Luminous Silk Foundation. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this in the camera, but I'm having a few like red spots show up immediately on my skin, which is getting me kind of concerned. There's a lot of essential oils in this priming oil, like lavender oil and things, and essential oils can be really irritating on the skin. And again, I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe I should just take a clip with my phone really quick. Hold on. Okay, can you see the red bumps that are starting to appear? Is this a reaction I'm having right now to the oil? I don't know. Usually if I'm having a reaction, it'll show up like pretty intensely in hives. So I'm gonna see if this develops throughout the day. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna blend this out with the sponge. Okay, so the foundation's applied. I'm actually surprised at how hydrated and great my skin is feeling, but I'm still seeing some separation on the chin. Sometimes the makeup just takes a few minutes to settle into a product and it will kind of smooth out eventually. This is so much better than the Bite Beauty foundation on top of this for sure. Let's see how she performs. I'll check in with you guys in a few hours. So this is all of the makeup applied. The oil has caused a little bit of issue, like when I was doing my brows and whatnot. It just felt like slippery and slicked on my skin, which does happen with oils in general, so maybe it's just not like a feeling I prefer. But when I was applying the cream products, like my cream contour and like a creamy blush, everything did settle into it nicely. There was no moving around or no extra pigment, so I do think it settled in quite nicely. I look very, very glowy, and again, this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation does just sit on top of it a lot nicer. I'm trying to see myself in the mirror so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's showing up exactly how I need it to, but my entire, can you see my chin? The entire thing is curdled, and that kind of goes the same. It's just like settling into my pores. It's all separated and curdled. It just doesn't look so hot. It doesn't look so hot at all. I don't really know what to say about that. But with this kind of like separation and curdling of the foundation on the oil all over like this area and my nose and my chin, sorry, my voice, puberty. This is gonna be a no for me. All right, guys, day 2 with the Lilah B primer. Yesterday was a fail. I don't know how to put it lightly, but we're gonna try a couple of different techniques today. Now this product says that it has fast absorption, but I did feel incredibly oily yesterday. So I'm not gonna use 2 pumps this time. I did go in with my regular skincare, and I'm gonna do 1 pump, okay? And I'm gonna press it into my skin. And today we're gonna be trying it with a tinted moisturizer and see if that makes a difference. Because pretty much my face was completely separated all day yesterday. Even switching the kind of foundation didn't help. So we'll try it again. Whoop. I'm gonna pat that around. And then I'm gonna take my tinted cover from Nude Sticks. I'm just gonna do 1 pump of that and blend this into my skin. Okay, so this looks a lot better, a lot better. Having a lot less product, maybe blending it in with my fingers helped a bit, or maybe it's just these 2 products in particular blend nicely together, but there's no separation here, nothing on my chin, and I do look very, very glowy. That also took like 2 seconds to blend out. It was kind of nice having that oily base, so maybe this will be like a tinted moisturizer primer for me to use, but so far it looks great. We shall wait and see how it goes throughout the rest of the day. All right, day three with the Lilah B primer. Sorry, a glow priming oil. The third test that I wanted to do, since it worked so well with the Nude Sticks tinted cover, I had a very great skin day, and I don't know if you gathered from the photo. I think that photo was taken at like 11:37 p.m. or something. It had been on my face for over 12 hours, and my skin still looked great. Now, I've been using this by itself. Normally, if you guys follow me and are aware of my priming and foundation concoctions, I almost always mix in a bronzy kind of product, so I want to see how it mixes in today with the Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy. So I'm going to do 1 pump of this, and I'm going to do 1 little half pump of my very well loved and used Deep Bronzy. Ooh, ooh, that looks dark. Yeah, smear that in. So it looks like it mixed very, very well on the skin. Reconfirming that 1 pump is indeed better than 2 pumps. Now I'm gonna go on top with the Nude Sticks tinted cover. Just 1 pump of this. And I'm gonna blend that into the skin on top. That is such a good combo together. It's such a good combo, and it seems to be completely unaffected by the Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy, so that is a good sign. It is concoction approved. I'm gonna go ahead and continue applying the rest of my makeup, and we'll see how this wears throughout the rest of the day. So my final thoughts on the Lilah B Glow Priming Oil. It wasn't off to a hot start. I feel like with these, I think that I need to pay more attention to ingredients and how they do combine together, like water-based products versus oil-based products, and just see which ones work the best together. I guess I just haven't been used to that. Like my Smashbox Primerizer, for example, is a product that I have used for years, and I've just never had a problem with it underneath any particular makeup, so I've never really had to pay attention to that. A lot of the products I use are pretty much good across the board no matter what I'm putting on top of it, but the fact that it reacted the way it did to that Bite Beauty foundation was super surprising, and I don't know if that's more telling about the Bite Beauty foundation or this, because the Bite Beauty foundation I've been wearing for over a month, almost 2 months, and it's been beautiful. I haven't had a problem with it since until I applied it on top of that. So for it to have separated and curdled the way it did was really surprising to me. But then wearing it with the Nude Sticks tinted cover, I'm actually wearing the combination again today. It is so beautiful. It is so juicy and so dewy. But honestly, for the price tag, for $90, you could make your own oil concoction. You could literally take whatever face oil you have, mix it into your moisturizer, mix it into your primer, and have a similar effect. It didn't do anything noticeably different for me. My skin didn't look like that much more exceptionally glowy than if I had just done my own little oil-based moment. So for that, I'm just gonna say, honestly, I don't think it's worth the price. Is it a beautiful product? Yes. Will I continue to wear it, especially under the Nude Sticks tinted cover? Absolutely, but it definitely wouldn't be my first choice when it comes to a primer. Sorry, Lilah B, I love you. But especially when it's such a small bottle, $90, I can't justify it. Absolutely not. That's my final thoughts on that. Let's move on to concealer. Hourglass launched the Vanish Airbrush Concealer. This bad boy right here, as well as the concealer brush to go with it. Now I did purchase this, and then, ironically, today, the day I'm filming this final review video, they sent me the PR package. So, If anyone needs a concealer brush and these particular 3 shades of concealer, let me know. I'll happily send it to you. Which is actually nice because I wrote my own little notes here, but now I have the actual PR mailer. The new Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Full coverage, waterproof, 16-hour wear, non-comedogenic. Apply directly to skin using 1 to 3 dots under each eye. Blend with the new Vanish Concealer brush. Apply formula remaining on brush to other problem spots. Blending before easing was finished. With all that being said, okay. Hourglass launches very few products, which means that anytime they do launch a product, I'm generally very excited about it. And there actually hasn't been a new concealer that has really tickled my fancy in a while. A lot of the concealers I use them for one particular thing. Like I'll either use them under my eyes or I'll use it as a spot concealer. There's not many concealers I have in my collection that are meant to kind of tackle everything all over the face, an all-in-one concealer, if you will. So I was very excited that this Vanish concealer was promising to do that you could put it under the eyes, it's not gonna crease, you can put it on spots, it's gonna cover, and it's full coverage without being like too cakey or sitting on top of the skin. So that was all that the Hourglass Vanish Concealer promised. Now let us see how it actually applied. Day 1 of using the Hourglass Vanish Concealer, I did pick up the brush to buy with it because that's how they showed how to apply it on the little video. I do want to see how it applies with other things though, so what I'm going to do is do half my face with the beauty sponge, half my face with the brush, see how it blends out. I am testing a more oily primer at the moment, so I'm not going to be too judgmental with it, see how it applies, but I have a feeling that the sponge may be a little bit better with an oilier base, so we'll see. I got this in the shade Fawn. I really like the doe foot applicator. It's very, very soft and flexible and bendy, and Fawn seems to be a nice match for me. Thank goodness. I'm gonna try out the brush side first. This seems to be really nice. Like it has a flat top, which I think will be good for buffing the concealer in. But for some reason, brushes and concealer tend to be very streaky on me, so I'm curious to see how this will look. It seems to be separating a little bit on the oil just under my eyes here. I wonder if the beauty sponge side will kind of rectify that problem. I'm getting a lot of like streaks from the brush stroke here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the beauty sponge to buff this out and see how it looks. It's got a really, really nice finish to it, very natural looking. It doesn't seem to be sitting well on top of this little oil primer and foundation combination. So I'm gonna see how this wears throughout the day, see if it settles into the skin a little bit more. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll check in with you guys in a few hours to see how it looks. Great coverage and great finish. I have high hopes for this one. So the makeup's all done. The concealer actually ended up settling in so nicely. I love how the makeup all together looks. Trying a few new things here, but so far everything has settled in very, very nicely. So I look forward to seeing how it sets in underneath the eyes. It was perfect. I didn't use any powder because I wanted to see how the concealer performed on its own. And so far, I like what I see. It does have a very beautiful, natural skin finish. And even on top of the oil, it doesn't look too glowy, you know, too oily. Like it really did set in very nicely on its own without the need for a powder. So loving how this looks so far. Day 2 for the Hourglass concealer. I'm going to do the same thing today. I'm going to try to use a lot less product. One thing I noticed yesterday is that a lot of product went on the face where I didn't really need it. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more sparse today. I'm just going to start with a little bit of product. And another thing I found is that it seemed to set very quickly and I did not work fast enough. So I'm going to try and use like even using such a little amount still looks like so much product here on the skin. But I'm going to try with less and see if that helps. And even that one little moment, there's a lot less streaking. There is a lot of separation, so I don't know how I feel about the brush, at least for under my eyes. I feel like I need some kind of warmth, like a beauty sponge or my finger to press it in to kind of help it melt into the skin and absorb a little bit. Yeah, I'm still seeing some separation here, so it might just be the oil that it's really not agreeing with, which normally with concealers, I don't notice a problem. Like my NARS concealers, for example, the Soft Matte Complete Concealer and even the Radiant Creamy Concealer, the RMS concealer, none of those have a problem with sticking to oilier bases. I'm not new in the world of using face oils, so I'm kind of surprised at how much separation is happening here. I do think the effect is a lot better blended out with my hand, so I'm going to officially ditch the brush for the rest. I'm just putting a little bit of the concealer around the rest of my face. I think I'll reserve this for spot concealing. That's usually what I use these style of buffing brushes for anyway, but underneath the eyes, it's fingers or sponge for me, man. So I'm just taking the sponge and blending that out. Overall, it has such a beautiful finish. It's not too full coverage, which I like. It's more of a lighter medium coverage, and I used a very small amount, so you can definitely build that up. But I think that overall this base is looking a lot better than it did yesterday, and I'm excited to see how it wears. Okay, day 3 of the Hourglass concealer test, and today I want to try using my tried and true trusty brush. This is the MAC 170 brush, so I'm going to see how it blends out the Hourglass concealer. But so far so good. I'm honestly like really excited about this Hourglass concealer. I'm excited that it's kind of a do everything concealer, which some of my concealers I use for particular areas, but you know, it's been a while since I've had a new concealer that kind of does it all. So I am very excited about how this has been performing and at the prospect of it. The MAC 170, the ultimate test, my favorite foundation brush of all time. I feel like when it has a little bit more surface area, it's just blended out so much better than having a small little brush for a larger area. Like that small brush would be great for spots and whatnot, but for all over the face, I don't know. It didn't work out for me. That applied so nicely. Big win. It is approved by the MAC 170. I didn't get the same curdling moments that I had on day 1, which is nice. This really smoothed it out. It's a beautiful concealer, honestly. So far my experience with this has been nothing but very positive, so I'm excited to continue using it. But this is how it looks on day 3. Whoa, 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 whoa. She is smooth. So if you couldn't tell from the clips already, I'm a really big fan of this. I am so excited about this concealer. I love the doe foot applicator. I love the finish. I didn't find that I got a full coverage finish with this, although I was applying a very, very small amount. So I feel like if you did want to put more on, get that intense full coverage, use a beauty sponge with it, you could most likely achieve that. I was getting more of a medium vibe, sometimes even light, depending on how little I was using. And what I loved is that I was successfully able to use my fingers, a beauty sponge, as well as my MAC 170 brush. I will say I didn't get along with the brush so well for applying all over. As I mentioned in the clips, I do think that the brush would be perfect for spot concealing. It has a really nice slant to it and like a flat top, which would mean that it would just get all around the spot and cover that really nicely. But for under the eyes and like general face blending, I found that I had to work too hard to get the streaks out of there, so I didn't like it for that. But if you're looking for a spot concealing brush, that's amazing. Sigma brushes have really, really nice dupes for these kabuki style brushes, so I'm kind of like hit or miss. So however you feel about the brush is however you feel. The concealer is beautiful. I am absolutely going to continue using it. I can see this being the only concealer I'm going to use for a while. It is gorgeous on all areas of the face, and I'm a huge fan. So I have the shade Fawn in this, by the way, and it looks great and it feels great, and it does indeed last a very long time on the skin. So big fan. That is a huge win. Hourglass, bless up. So the next launch that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Aether. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's the Aether Beauty Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighters. I have the shade Pure Diamond. There's also a pink diamond shade. I was really excited about this. Aether Beauty, I've previously tried their eyeshadow palettes, and in the clean beauty space, it's very rare to get the very nice shades that they were able to create in those palettes. The packaging is zero waste, which I thought was really, really cool. It's super beautiful. They have actual crushed diamond powder in these highlighters, and honestly, it looks super beautiful. When I swatch it with my hand, you get such a stunning, like very pigmented metallic finish on the finger, and it feels absolutely buttery smooth when I touch it and when I swatch it from the packaging. And this was very unique, this little elastic action to close it. So all over, very, very promising, beautiful highlighter from the clean beauty space. Now let's see how it applied. Ooh. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. 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 It's so chunky. It looks like I literally just sprinkled silver glitter on my face. Oh. Okay, yesterday I started using this with an eyeshadow brush. And what I want to do today is use a fluffier, larger brush so that it won't be so dense. And I'm also just going to try to kind of like rub off that initial layer just to see, because like on here it's so smooth. When I applied it onto my face, it was very chunky. So I just want to see if I can try it one more time in a lighter sense with a larger, fluffier brush and see if it'll be as chunky and glittery. Yeah, even when I press it on with my finger, it's just like, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's definitely just like, the glow is insane. The glow is beautiful for sure, but it's just like flecks of glitter. There's no way else to say it. There's flecks of glitter on my face with this. So, okay, that experiment is done. This one is not for me. Crushed diamond sitting in my pores. That's what I have to say about that. So honestly, my playtime with this was pretty short-lived. For whatever reason, I don't know what happened in my experience, but like I just mentioned, when I touch it, it is so soft and beautiful to apply. I tried applying this with a brush, with my fingers, as well as a sponge, and no matter what I did, I had like thick, glittery chunks on my skin, and it would like instantly sink into my pores. Those crushed diamond glitters were not a textured girl's best friend, and I have a lot of highlighters that I use on the regular that do not do that. They don't have those chunks that sit in the skin and really enhance and highlight your pores and your texture. So that was a big no-no for me, which was pretty sad because I was really excited about this. I will say that I did actually go on to use it on my eyes, kind of like an eyeshadow topper, and it's beautiful because it has those really like reflective, beautiful, slightly more visible chunks. It's actually really, really gorgeous as an eyeshadow. So I used it on my inner corners as well as on the lid, and it was stunning. It's a beautiful eyeshadow topper, so I am gonna keep this and use it as that. And I think for like clean beauty, having something that's as pigmented as maybe some of the other non-clean beauty eyeshadow toppers, my favorite thing. It's nice to have that as an option, but as a highlighter, it just really enhanced my skin texture, and I was not having it, so I will not be using this on my face again. But as an eyeshadow, I could definitely continue playing with it in that way. So there's that. The next very exciting launch that I am playing with today, reviewing for you guys, are the MAC Glow Play blushes. Oh, look at this packaging. MAC has completely updated the packaging. These are the new Glow Play blushes, and they are actually going to be a permanent item. It's not just a limited collection from MAC. They are bringing these on permanently with this packaging, which is so exciting. This is my favorite update that MAC has done on their packaging to date. It's so gorgeous. Now, the embargo date for this was January 16th. I did have it sometime before that and have been playing with it before that, but because of this nature of PR receiving, I don't actually know when these are launching on this day that I am filming this. There's no information about it. I can't tell you about this launch nor when it's launching. All I know is I'm allowed to talk about it now, and I've been using them, and here is how I got along with it. Here's my first impression, if you will. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, I love that. Oh wow, that was so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be such a pain in the butt to apply it with your fingers, but Glow Play, you ain't playing around. Also, can we talk about this packaging? So nice. Yesterday I used the shade So Natural. Today I'm going to use the shade That's Peachy. Ooh. I loved how easy this was to use with your fingers, just to push that into the skin. I thought it would be so much more difficult, but it's so easy, and you need the tiniest amount, and it's so pigmented. Like, are you witnessing this flush? Oh my god, it's so beautiful. This is like one of the best things that MAC has come out with in a long time. Like, it is such a unique feeling formula. It kind of reminds me of the old Maybelline Dream Bouncy blushes, but obviously like better color payoff and no chunks of bits in it. Yeah, this blush, oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, today I'm using the shade Grand. I haven't tried using this with my e.l.f. small stipple brush yet, which is my favorite way to apply cream blushes. I don't always like to do it with my fingers, even though this was super fast and efficient. It was great. I just want to see how it works. Oh, I'm stabbing it. No, I don't. With the brush. I think that it looks really nice applied with the brush. I find that when I applied it with my fingers, I wasn't able to blend it out as much. So this one gave a really nice, like, softer pigment to the blush, which was great. But yeah, it totally acted like a cream blush. And it still has, it's just the most unique texture, you guys. It's so cool. Out of the 3 that I used, obviously So Natural is my favorite. It reminds me of Warm Soul, but stunning. So obviously, I'm a huge fan. This is one of my favorite launches that MAC has come out with in such a long time. I am a cream blush fanatic, and this is like such a unique cloud-like hybrid. I don't really know how to explain the feeling of it. All I know is that it is beautiful. I'm gonna be blabbing more and more about this in my January favorites coming up as well, but this shade So Natural, it is so beautiful. You can apply it with your hands, you can apply it with a stipple brush, you can do whatever you want with it. It is a gorgeous creamy like blush that just gives the most natural looking flush to your skin, and I have thoroughly enjoyed playing with these, and it is such a good blush launch. I am so excited about this formula, and the shade So Natural, such a good everyday nude. It's so good. Oh, let's move on to some Fenty. The Snap Shadows eyeshadow palettes. I got very, very excited. I actually wasn't excited at first. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't excited because I'm really anti eyeshadow palette. I feel like everyone's coming out with eyeshadow palettes just to come out with eyeshadow palettes, and not a lot of them are new or innovative or have any new or exciting colors. And I did feel the same about these. I didn't think they were offering anything in terms of shades that are different from palettes that I already had. However, I did love the concept of being able to snap them together. And in a way, by being able to snap certain palettes together, you're able to somewhat customize these for travel and everyday use. So for the packaging, I thought that was very unique, and I was really excited about that aspect of it. So I did pick up 2 of these. I got the shade 1 True Neutrals and number 5 Peach, and I snapped them together. And I spent the last couple days using these and seeing how they performed. So my final thoughts on the Fenty Snap Shadows I'm wearing. Palette number 1 on my eyes today. I do think that they are very nice. Again, I love the customizable aspect of it. It's not the best, most creamy eyeshadow formula in the world, but they're beautiful and they do the job no matter what. My only complaint, I guess, is that even though I put 2 of these palettes together, I still don't feel like I have my perfect shades in here. Like for example, this number 1 True Neutrals, I would have loved it so much more if they kept that one shimmery shadow and then gave a few other matte browns, because I just don't feel like there was like a proper array of shadows in here. I would have loved a black, I would have loved a deeper brown, maybe even a lighter brown for a crease shade. And then here, like that's why I bought the peach shade, was to get these more warm tones in here. But even then, like, this isn't a complete palette to me. Does that make sense? Like, it's just, I mean, I know I'm one person and my shadow wishes are unique to another person's shadow wishes. Maybe someone's like, oh my god, these are all the shades I need. But just for my own personal taste, like, I wasn't able to get the colors I would have wanted in here. I just think they put a lot of shimmers that maybe could have been a few more like useful shades, if that makes sense. But I love the concept. I don't know if a shade extension would come out, or if they'd be willing to come out with like some limited versions of this, like a full matte version. That would be my dream, just all matte browns and a black. My personal biases aside, I think this is a great option for somewhat customizing your own palette and for travel ease, and I think that the packaging is very unique and cool, and I did enjoy playing with these a lot. Moving on to the Fenty mascara. Ooh, this is the full frontal mascara. Really, really beautiful packaging. I love this mascara wand. There's very few mascaras that impress me greatly, and very few mascaras that I would wear on a daily basis, so I was very, very excited to try this. The whole idea with their brush is that it is fat to flat. So the wand itself is flat when you look at it from one angle, and then when you twist it, it is actually wider. And the whole point is to have the fat side adding on all of the volume, packing on the product, and then you have the flat side to move it around and define and lengthen the lashes. So it's like a do-it-all mascara. It's super volumizing, lifting, water and sweat resistant, flake-free, etc., are all of the things that the mascara said it would do. So let us see how it actually performed. All right, guys, the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Volume Lift and Curl Mascara. I really like the packaging of this. I mean, the packaging of everything from Fenty is so nice. Look at that, how pretty. Let's give it a go. So I actually really loved how they talked about the brush. They said it's fat to flat, fat to flat. And the fat side is supposed to load the product on. Okay, so I'm loading it. We're gonna load, we're going in. Sorry, I just just jumped right in there. I'm gonna use the fat side to load it, put all the product on, which I think is really a cool concept. And then use the flat side, which honestly, like already I feel like I'm gonna use the flat side more to define it and lift. I do like that it has the pointed, the tapered tip, so you can get right into those front lashes. Certainly lifted, certainly lifted. Whenever I'm applying mascara, I always kind of do one layer on one side and then I let it dry while I do the other side, and then I go in and apply a second layer. And that's really telling for me because some mascaras don't layer nicely once they set in, which I hate. I don't like mascaras that are like that. But if it layers well, then that's where you get the really nice volume. So that's the first layer of the mascara applied. It looks really great. It looks really great. So I'm not able to pack on much more volume in comparison, like the Tom Ford mascara. Usually when I go in with the second or third layer, like the roots of the lashes start to get so insanely thick together, which is what I love. This one's not doing that so much, like on the level of like the Tom Ford one, for example, but it's certainly giving me like full length of my lashes, full lift action, and it's pretty freaking volumized. Like, this looks great. I've been wearing the mascara for 5 hours now, and there has been not a single flake. And considering I've got an exceptionally glowy and pretty oily looking base on right now, the fact that the mascara hasn't flaked at all, I'm very impressed. I feel very awake looking. Yeah, don't mind that. The top, the stuff on the lid was my own doing, but otherwise there's been no raccooning, no flickety flakes just yet. So this is 5 hours in. I will definitely keep it on as late as I can going into the evening to just see how long we can go without any flakes. So far, so good. 10.5 hours on my face. I was so impressed with this yesterday. I wore it for about 10.5 hours. It was kind of hard to take off. I had to do a double layering action, but its staying power and unflakiness, very impressed indeed. Okay, and this is the mascara applied. It's really pretty. Very, very fluttery and lengthened and all of those things. All right, day 3 using the Fenty Full Frontal Mascara. Don't know if you can tell already, but I'm loving it. Not sure how I feel about the fat to flat wand though. It's really easy for me to stab my eyeballs with it. I get the premise, but I'm very clumsy with it. It's hard. I find that I just have to be like extra careful while I'm applying it, which is kind of annoying. I can't believe I've done this. Okay, this is the day 3 look with the mascara. So for my final thoughts, I'm wearing it right now and I really do like it. It is flake free, that I found in my experience anyway. It does last a very long time and it does give you a very all around volumized and lifted look of the lashes. I think that in comparison, my Tom Ford Badass Black Mascara is just much more volumizing, which again is what I personally go to. But this is one of the better mascaras that I've tried as of late. It gave a really beautiful finish. My only complaint is that I don't like the wand. I don't like the fat to flat concept. I just found it kind of hard to wiggle around. For some reason, it was just difficult for me to use it in that way, and I ended up getting a lot of mascara on my lid every time I used it, which was annoying. I do like that it's a pointed tip so you can get right in there, but again, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain the difficulty of using this, but because of how wide it is when you're on the fat portion, it just got everywhere. It just got over my lid. I don't know. I struggled with it. Maybe I'll get used to it as I continue using it more, but I do prefer a more slim wand just for getting right in there, getting right into the roots and not having to worry about rubbing it all over myself. But the formula itself is really beautiful. I'm gonna continue wearing it. I think it's great. I think it looks great. I love the effect it gives my lashes, and I love the packaging. Let me know if you guys are gonna try this mascara and how you get along with the whole fat to flat thing. So gals and pals, those are a few of the new launches that have come out over the last few weeks, 6 to be exact. 6 new launches that I put to the test for you, and this was my experience and also my final thoughts on some of these new products. Honestly, most of them I'm gonna be continuing to use and love. I think a lot of the new launches are super beautiful and I'm excited to continue using them and playing with them. If you guys have picked any of these up and tried them, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you hated them, let me know. If you love them, let me know all your thoughts. And again, if you like this style of review video, my full investigation, let me know. If you want me to let me know if you want me to continue doing this format and if there are any products you want me to specifically review. Also let me know. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell because YouTube decided that subscribing is not enough. Thanks so much for watching this video, you guys. I will see you all in my next one. Bye!